Have you ever heard the words, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want"? These words, so simple yet profound, are the opening lines of Psalm 23, a beloved passage in the Bible. Countless individuals throughout the ages have found solace and strength in these words. They offer comfort in times of sorrow, guidance in moments of uncertainty, and hope when all seems lost. Psalm 23 speaks to the very core of the human experience. It addresses our deepest fears, our longing for security, and our desire for a life filled with purpose and meaning. In a world often characterized by chaos and confusion, this psalm offers a message of peace, reminding us that we are not alone. Psalm 23 was written by King David, a man after God's own heart. David, a shepherd himself before ascending to the throne, understood the needs of his sheep. He knew the importance of green pastures, still waters, and protection from danger. It is through this lens, the lens of a shepherd, that David portrays God's love and care for his people. David's life was not without its challenges. Yet, through it all, he clung to his faith in God. Centuries have passed since David first penned these words, yet their power remains undiminished. Why is this so? Perhaps it is because the human heart, with all its longings and fears, has not changed. We still crave security, love, and a sense of belonging. We still face trials and tribulations that test our faith. Psalm 23 speaks to these unchanging realities of the human experience. It transcends time and culture, offering a message that is as relevant today as it was thousands of years ago. Psalm 23 begins with a powerful image. The Lord is my shepherd. In the time of King David, a shepherd held a position of great responsibility. He was entrusted with the care of his flock, ensuring their well-being and protection. The shepherd led his sheep to green pastures where they could graze peacefully, and he guided them to still waters where they could quench their thirst. By likening God to a shepherd, David conveys a profound truth about the nature of God's love for us. Just as a shepherd cares for his sheep, so too does God care for us. The imagery of green pastures and still waters evokes a sense of peace, abundance, and tranquility. Sheep, being naturally skittish creatures, find comfort in these serene environments. They represent a place of rest, nourishment, and security, where the sheep can graze without fear and drink deeply without anxiety. The green pastures represent God's abundant provision for our lives. He provides not only for our physical needs like food and shelter, but also for our emotional and spiritual needs. The still waters symbolize the peace that God offers us, even amidst the storms of life. The sheep, in its dependence on the shepherd, represents us, God's children. We, like sheep, are often prone to wander, easily distracted, and vulnerable to the dangers of the world. We need guidance, protection, and constant care. Psalm 23 reminds us that in God we have found that shepherd. He is the good shepherd who lays down his life for his sheep. He knows each one of us by name, and he cares for us deeply. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. This beautiful image speaks of rest and contentment. Sheep don't naturally lie down. They are prey animals, always on alert for danger. They only lie down when they feel safe, secure, and completely at peace. God, our shepherd, desires for us this same sense of peace. He longs for us to let go of our anxieties, our worries, and our fears. He wants us to rest in his presence, knowing that we are loved, cared for, and completely provided for. He restoreth my soul. Life can take its toll on us. We face challenges, disappointments, and heartaches that can leave us feeling depleted, discouraged, and spiritually drained. But God, in his faithfulness, promises to restore our souls. He offers us his forgiveness, his grace, and his unfailing love, renewing our strength and giving us the courage to keep going. Just as a shepherd guides his sheep along safe paths, so too does God guide us in the paths of righteousness. He promises to lead us, to direct our steps, and to keep us from stumbling. The opening verses of Psalm 23 paint a picture of peace, abundance, and tranquility. But life, as we know, is not always a walk in the park. There are seasons of darkness, moments of despair, and times when we find ourselves walking through valleys of shadows. The imagery of the valley is significant. Valleys are often associated with darkness, danger, and the unknown. They can represent times of loss, grief, fear, and uncertainty. When we find ourselves in such valleys, it's easy to feel alone, afraid, and overwhelmed by the darkness. But Psalm 23 reminds us that even in the darkest of valleys, we are not alone. David doesn't shy away from acknowledging the reality of fear and hardship. He uses the powerful imagery of the valley of the shadow of death. This phrase doesn't necessarily refer to physical death, but rather to those times in our lives when we feel surrounded by darkness, when hope seems distant, and when the weight of our troubles feels unbearable. We all experience such valleys at different points in our journeys. Yet, even in this bleak landscape, David clings to a powerful truth. I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. These words are not a denial of fear, but a declaration of faith. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. This verse paints a striking contrast between the harsh reality of the valley and the extravagant provision of God. Even amidst difficulty, even when surrounded by enemies, God provides a place of abundance and blessing for his children. The image of a table prepared in the presence of enemies speaks of God's unwavering faithfulness and protection. It is a picture of security and provision, even in the face of opposition. God's provision overshadows their threats, offering comfort and strength. The anointing of the head with oil was a symbol of honor and blessing in biblical times. It signified being set apart for a special purpose, being equipped for a particular task, or being chosen for a position of leadership. In the context of Psalm 23, it speaks of God's favor and blessing upon his children. My cup runneth over is an expression of abundance and overflowing joy. It speaks of God's generosity and his desire to bless us beyond measure. Just as a shepherd cares for his sheep, ensuring their well-being and providing for their needs, so too does God lavish his love and blessings upon us. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. These words, so simple yet profound, offer a glimpse into the heart of God and his unwavering commitment to his children. David, reflecting on his life and his relationship with God, recognizes a consistent pattern. Goodness and mercy have been his constant companions. This verse isn't a promise of a life devoid of challenges or hardships. David, as we've seen, experienced his fair share of trials and tribulations. But through it all, he remained convinced that God's goodness and mercy were always present, even in the darkest of times. Goodness and mercy, in this context, are not merely abstract concepts. Mercy, on the other hand, speaks of God's compassion, his forgiveness, his grace, and his willingness to meet us in our brokenness. It's the assurance that even when we stumble or fall short, God's love for us never diminishes. He is always ready to forgive, to restore, and to set us back on the right path. All the days of my life emphasizes the constancy of God's presence and provision. It's not a one-time offer or a limited-time guarantee. It's a promise that extends throughout our earthly journey, encompassing every season, every circumstance, and every challenge we may face. And I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. These final words of Psalm 23 point beyond the temporal realm to the eternal inheritance that awaits those who put their trust in God. The house of the Lord represents not just a physical building, but the very presence of God, a place of perfect peace, joy, and communion with our Creator. David, in a beautiful expression of faith and longing, declares his confidence in an eternal dwelling place with God. This is the ultimate hope of every believer, the promise that transcends the limitations of this life, and offers an eternity of love, joy, and fulfillment in the presence of our Savior. Psalm 23, in its entirety, is a testament to the faithfulness of God and the unwavering hope that sustains us through life's journey. It reminds us that we are not alone in our struggles, that even in the darkest of valleys, God's presence is our comfort and His promises are our guide. It is a song of trust, a declaration of faith, and an invitation to experience the boundless love and unwavering faithfulness of our Good Shepherd. May its words continue to inspire, encourage, and draw us closer to the heart of God both now and forevermore. And as we conclude our journey through Psalm 23, we are reminded of the deep, abiding love that God has for each of us. Like a shepherd gently caring for his sheep, He guides us, protects us, and provides for our every need. He knows our weaknesses, our fears, and our deepest longings. He sees our potential, our value, and the unique purpose He has for our lives. Throughout this psalm, we have encountered images of peace, abundance, and unwavering faithfulness. We have been reminded that even in the darkest of valleys, God's presence is our comfort. His rod and His staff, they comfort me. He never leaves us to face our trials alone. He is our constant companion, our ever-present help in times of trouble. The imagery of Psalm 23 speaks to the deepest longings of the human heart, our need for security, our desire for love and belonging, and our yearning for a life filled with purpose and meaning. In a world often characterized by chaos and uncertainty, these words offer a beacon of hope, reminding us that we are not alone, that we are loved, and that we are eternally cared for. The enduring power of Psalm 23 lies not only in its beautiful imagery, but also in its ability to speak to the realities of our everyday lives. We all face challenges, disappointments, and heartaches. We all experience moments of fear, doubt, and uncertainty. It is in these difficult times that the words of this psalm offer us profound comfort and strength. When we feel overwhelmed by the cares of this world, Psalm 23 reminds us to cast our burdens upon the Lord, to find rest in His loving embrace. When we are walking through valleys of darkness, it assures us that we are not alone, that our shepherd is with us, guiding our steps and lighting our path. And when we are tempted to doubt God's goodness or question His plan for our lives, Psalm 23 reassures us that His goodness and mercy will follow us all the days of our lives. It is a promise of unwavering faithfulness, a testament to the depth of God's love for His children. Psalm 23 is not just a collection of beautiful words or a comforting passage to be read in times of trouble. It is a call to action, an invitation to live our lives in complete dependence on our Good Shepherd. It is a reminder that we are His sheep, and He is our shepherd, guiding us, providing for us, and leading us towards His perfect will for our lives. As we go about our daily lives, let us carry the message of Psalm 23 in our hearts. Let us remember that we are deeply loved, eternally cared for, and never alone. Let us trust in the goodness of our shepherd, find comfort in His presence, and live each day in the confidence that He is leading us towards green pastures and still waters. May the words of Psalm 23 continue to inspire, encourage, and draw us closer to the heart of our Good Shepherd, both now and forevermore. For in His presence we find true peace, lasting joy, and a love that knows no bounds.